Do you have any advice for hospital staff, ambulance police, and others who may be involved in responding to young people self-harming?
The main thing is taking our phones. Because it depends where you are, but some hospitals will take your phone off you if you're a mental health patient. I'm here. I'm in this situation. You've not given me anything else to do, so you've just left me with my thoughts. Obviously, that's it's never gonna go well. And and I understand the phones may not be great in that situation, but at least replace it with something else. Because sitting in a bay or empty chair doing nothing while waiting is it's never gonna be useful. If you're agitated, you've got nothing to do. You've got no way to channel that agitation. You've got nothing to distract yourself with, and you're getting upset at the hospital, and security comes. I found that ambulance staff were usually pretty good. They usually have a pretty good training. Some are not always understanding. Don't really understand that sort of situation, but a lot of the time, the police officers were understanding. That was usually after the situation had calmed down. It wasn't while it was escalating. It never helps when it's after the fact. It would help when it's before. Situations where police have had to intervene because of knives or objects they can use for self harm, them talking and being calm again was the biggest thing that I was like, all right, I'll put it down. I don't want to be like this. Rather than them first going towards the taser or trying to get it off me, then I'm like, well, I'm just gonna fight you because you've not even given me the courtesy of asking me what's wrong. You've just gone straight to touching me and reacting to a situation without analyzing or talking about it first. As police officers, you guys are trained to react straight away, but not every situation is possible. But you just need to be able to slow down for a second and be like, you're obviously upset. What are you upset about? There's a weapon. We need to get it off you, but easier way or hard way. Obviously, like being able to choose was the best way. Because like police officer for me, like, look, we can tase you, we can hold you down, or you can just put it on the floor and we can just sit down and wait for the ambulance. And I was like, well, okay, fair enough. You've told me what you guys are gonna do. Then if I get held down or tased, that's on me. That's not on them. And that was my main thing. Was like, well, then if it's on me, I can't be annoyed at the services for doing that because it was my choice to react. And being able to have those choices is a lot better because you choosing it for me is only forcing me to react in one way. In those situations while you are being held down, reassuring them like, look, once you calm down, we can stop. Instead of just feeling like you just need to stop, you just need to stop. Explaining, look, we're doing this because you're reacting like this. If you stop reacting like this, we can stop doing this. Explaining it in a way that you can understand when you're upset is the main thing. Because you telling me to stop while you're holding me down is not going to make me stop. For my doctors, rushing to medications as the first treatment option or the first thing is wasn't always helpful for me. Saying to him like, "Look, I'm not feeling great." Him going straight to upping my dose instead of asking me what's making you not feel great. I mean, more useful than saying, "Okay, maybe we should up your antidepressants." But usually the mental health staff are pretty good. I've had a few bad ones. Mostly they're pretty good. One thing I would like is if for me at the they will
Yep.
come speak to you and then go speak to the doctor, and then come back speak to you. It's like then they've just explained to a doctor what has happened to you. Then that doctor then makes a decision based off what that social worker has said. It would be more useful if that doctor came down and spoke to us at the same time, then be able to hear us more as whether, okay, maybe going home is not so suitable, or maybe we should go home and being in hospital is not so suitable right now. Being able to hear it from the parents and the patient instead of hearing it from what we have said to somebody else. That's just a big thing. It was like, well, you're choosing whether I can go home, but you have not even spoken to me. When my parents were in the hospital, it was usually while we're waiting those hours down from the EA. You've had that big emotional outburst. You had to get held down, or you've had to get sent to hospital, whatever else, and it's sort of calmed down. And you're just there. Those periods were probably the best time I spoke with my parents because it was like, well, this is what you've done. You're here from your own actions. We gotta talk about what's happened. And for me, it was a lot easier to talk about it because I would have to talk about it with the mental health staff anyway. But being able to go through it first with your parents is a lot better than having some random person you've never met come decide whether you get to go home or not, and you're not even debriefed with your parents yet. But it's not always possible in those situations. Like I said, there needs to be more resources for families where if you're going in and out of hospital quite frequently, but your parents are not always able to be there for you. 9 times out of 10, you're by yourself, sitting in a bay. You're told you can't leave, you can't do anything. How is that meant to help anyone in that sort of situation? And like I said, for families, it's not always possible to be in ED 12 hours a day, 3 to 4 times a week, if not more. That's just not possible. But there's no support for when it does happen. As parents, too, you guys need to calm down and de stress after that situation. And you can't do that either in a hospital chair. Knowing that, yes, your kid's in hospital, but he's not by himself or they're not by themselves, at least, focus on the two younger kids for a bit if they're a bit upset. Or go have dinner or have a shower without having to be like, oh, I need to be with them. Just knowing that there's someone there with them would have been nice for my parents. It would be nice for most parents to know that their kid is not alone. But yes, you need to take time for yourself because, like I said, no parent can look after the young people if they can't look after themselves.